Hello everyone, my name is Danny, and I'm making a video game called Eastshade, where you explore a spectacular open world. A few months ago I made this time-lapse screen capture of me modeling a building, and I figured maybe some other game developers, or particularly 3D artists, might be interested in seeing this sort of thing. I know I like to see this stuff from other developers. It's kind of long-winded, so if nobody finds it interesting, that would be fine too. I just wanted to put it out there. And if people like it, then maybe I'd consider doing more of them, because something like this is way easier than like a full-fledged polished tutorial. Those take me forever. Now, making a building takes a long time, so this time lapse is really sped up, and as a result, the camera movements are extremely spazzy. If you're prone to seizures or just find it completely unwatchable, I can understand, because I can barely watch it. A quick disclaimer, by the end of the video I get almost done with this building, but not totally done. By the end there's still a couple things that I would like to do to it, and till this day I still haven't done them. The other thing is that the particular town this building is in is extremely work in progress, so I just wanted to say that. Alright, so at the very beginning of the video, while I was blabbering, I did a couple notable things that I think I should talk about. The first is I looked at a bunch of reference. I looked at way more reference before I even started the recording, but just at the very beginning of the video you saw a couple reference images, and they're currently up on my second monitor while I'm working. I think that's really important, and it's something that a lot of people kind of undervalue. Your research before you start something like this, in my opinion, is just as important as the actual process of making it itself, because unless your brain is like an encyclopedia or something, you probably don't really know what this stuff actually looks like. And if you're just improvising, then you're going to be making stuff up, and it might not be believable. So even if you're making a fantasy world, it's important to draw from reality and draw from things that people are already familiar with. Even if it's stylized, you still need to establish that believability. I'm not the first to say that by any means. I think it's something that artists hear over and over and over again, but it's one of those things that probably can't be said enough. The other thing I did right at the beginning was I started to pillage parts from another building that I had already made, and that's something that's really important for me to do, because I'm building a laughably big game. I have no business building a game this size, so wherever I can, I need to try to be as efficient as possible, reuse as much as possible, and only spend time on the things that will make each visual asset look unique, and only spend time on the things that will maximally impact the big read of the game. So in service of that goal, you'll notice that I've already started to texture the building. I also already copied the building around the town. Not all the buildings are going to look the same, but I copied it around the town because I'm trying to get a feel for the big read, and for that same reason I also already started to texture the building. Basically, I'm always trying to finish. The funny part is I think I'm really good at doing this for the visuals. Like when it comes to making the 3D art, I'm good at like knowing what is the next important thing to do. But unfortunately, I think I'm terrible at doing it for the game at large. Maybe that's just because I'm not as experienced in making games as I am in making 3D. And we will learn together if I'm able to finish this game. But I'm very committed, and things are going well. And I've never had so much fun in my life. So I'm going to keep trying. Something I try to make sure to do is make all my artistic decisions, important artistic decisions, based on how it looks in the game, or in Unity in this case, rather than in Blender, because it doesn't really matter how it looks in Blender, right? Nobody's going to see it there. So I have a script I wrote for Blender that makes exporting to Unity extremely quick. I just hit a button, and by the time I tab back over to Unity, it's already updated, and that's really important for me in the way I work. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to be spending so much time exporting, because I export probably every 10 minutes I export. What you're seeing right here is the unwrapping of a wood beam, And Blender has a really good tool for this. It's called Follow Active Quads. It's extremely useful. It makes life so much easier for unwrapping anything that is like perfect loops and rings of quads. You just unwrap one quad, and then you can use Follow Active Quads to unwrap all the connected quads. Another thing I've done since this building is round, I've set up instances for each pizza slice of the building. If you imagine the building is a pizza, and I model on one pizza slice and all the other pizza slices update. And to do that, you can just start with a cylinder and then grab one slice of that cylinder and delete all the rest, and then rotate out all the other instances from that one slice. I guess I could describe the way I'm working right now as having multiple pizzas. The roof is a pizza. The walls are a pizza. The windows are, I guess, a different pizza. And I have one pizza slice for each type of thing right there. I'm working on the slice for the ribs of the roof. And then you'll see I even do like vertex painting on one rib, and then I rotate out all the other ribs. So not all the pizza slices will make a full pizza. Sometimes it'll be like every other. It'll be like a weird checkered pizza where every other slice is deleted. And that's for like things like windows. There's not a window on every section. So that's how I'm doing that stuff. It's actually a pretty risky way to work, because if like you get hungry while you're working, then you can actually end up eating some of your pizzas, which is, you're just gonna have to make them again. So try not to do that. Now I'm experimenting with color, and that looks pretty wacky with the yellow. It looks like like a Spanish sort of town. And it looks kind of interesting. In the end, I went with white. I think it's always important to be experimenting, even with really big stuff. Like color is so easy. You can just try it out in 2 seconds, and sometimes it can make a really big impact and just immediately make something have more character. All right, what you're seeing right now is my struggling with making a door frame, because spherical buildings are really rad, but they're also crazy impractical, and this is probably why nobody builds them. Just something simple as cutting a door frame. I mean, the door frame needs to adhere to the curvature of the building, so it's just so much harder to do everything. But they do always end up looking weird and wonderful. Now I'm trying to make a door. I grabbed a railing texture that I'd made for another building, and I just start with that. Sometimes I'll grab a texture and I'll start modeling to the texture, and I'll see what kind of weird trickery I can do with the UV unwrap to make it look like something totally different. In this case, I'm starting with like a trim around the side with that railing texture mapped to it, and it's already looking kind of interesting, so I ended up going with it. And this is a pretty distinct door that I didn't have to make a unique texture for or do a lot of design work. Sometimes it feels like I'm cheating when I do this kind of stuff, because occasionally something will come out so quick that looks really unique and I barely had to do any work. So I always try to stay lucid, and I try not to be afraid to try things that seem out of left field or not in line with what I had originally had in mind, and it seems to work for me. All right, again here I'm grabbing a window from a building I had previously made, and I'm just going to try to make it fit in this new window hole I've created. I am once again experimenting with different colors. I'm kind of messing with the material a bit. I usually spend a long time at this stage, just because you can get so much bang for your buck so quick by making those big changes. Now I'm making a new pizza for this little wooden shark tooth thing that you're going to see in a second that I had planned to go down here. Rotating around all those copies, and then I just work on one, like I said before, and all of them update, which makes it super easy. All right, that is all I had recorded. This is kind of a work in progress shot of the town that the buildings go in. It's come a really long way since this particular shot is months old now for me. I've been taking screenshots every step of the way as I build this town, so that'll be a cool evolution to see. I'll probably post that one of these days. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching. I hope somebody found some interesting bits in this 10-minute dev lapse.